It's time. I mean, technically it's past time, but I had to eat a bagel really fast, so it's time, I guess. It's time when that I. It's the time that I want. It's not the time that I wanted to start, but it's the time we are going to start. So that's where we're at. It's a game design day, not a video games day. Um, I this might be a very short stream because I am frustrated with my game design right now. So it might just be like I need more time to think about this, and we're gonna be done because I'm feeling stuck. Sorry, I ate a bagel very fast, as I said earlier. Um, so let's take a look at okay, what I did. All I've done, because like I said, I've been a little stuck, is I copy and pasted the. This document is longer because I copy and pasted the games from Firebrands in here. I haven't even edited them to make them sound warlocky. I just copy and pasted them directly in. So I'm probably gonna leave them green so that I remember that I copy and pasted them directly in. Um, and I'm a little stuck because I'm not sure they're good for this game. I'm not sure they're actually like what we want. Um, the like structure of them is I think good, but I don't know if the actual like things you can do are good for this game. Um, so that's where I'm at. I'm just like not sure. And then also I've been working on game for the emotional mecha game jam or the hashtag sad mech jam. Um, but I just keep writing fiction instead of writing game. Like I wrote like a little fiction thing, and it's like this isn't game. This is nothing. This is just me goofing around. Um, I like what I've written, but I can't figure out how to make game out of it. So I think we're gonna just have to start over. And I think also this is just like pilot and mech stuff. Like there's not a lot of uh, like it's not a particularly um, innovative idea. So I think I want to start over with something new. But I just don't know how to make game. I'm having a hard time. Is where I'm at. Um, I don't know even where to start. Because I'm just like, don't know about any of it. That's where I just like, don't know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's just like confusion and frustration. Um, and I'm bad at working on things when I say I'm supposed to work on them. So I don't know how good this is gonna go. Are you looking for ideas? I don't know. Maybe I won't like turn them down, but I don't know if that's like if they're actually gonna be helpful. Um, just because like I'm in such a weird place, I don't know if like any ideas are gonna be helpful. Um, here's an easy thing to do. We're gonna like go through the things I've pasted in and mark where they need to be changed. Okay. Express your position in the form of a slogan that people can rally behind. I think that the people can rally behind needs to change. I guess most people doesn't make sense because it's not people, it's patrons. Explain how your position carries the weight of tradition, law, and social order. That probably needs to change a little bit because I don't know how struck. I don't feel like the patron society is super structured. Urgent and exposed, but urgent and expedient. That's okay. Neglected interests of the underprivileged. I don't know how do patrons feel about things. This is like a maybe. Maybe this is a maybe, so it'll be like a different orange. Um, Please express your commitment to your position, even if it is not actually true or right. That one's fine. Please explain how your position is the most just and equitable. I don't know if that makes sense either. Please explain how your position is how the other position has merit and is worth real consideration. Please make a personal attack on your counterpart. Okay, those two are fine. Um, so that's fine. We'll change those later. Chase. Okay. I somehow turn myself around. I blender into you. That's fine. I've come to some temporary security. This part needs to change. I found some temporary security. A war and a tree to climb, a door I can lock behind me. Here's where I hope go to ground. We need to change a war and a tree to climb, a door to lock behind me. You've driven me into a blind, and you have me cornered. Your allies have cut me off, and I'm brought to. I'm exhausted, and you overtake me. You've proven yourself, and I let you catch me. Those are fine. Um, I know this ground well. Follow me if you dare, but throw. On tails you're plunging heedless into danger, and I need not choose any admissions during the chase after all. I think maybe we change. I think that's fine. I race along a high and perilous ledge. Following you dare, but throws you have to pick carefully. So these need to change because, oops, the wrong color. Because it's it's not like it's a chase, and it's maybe literal, but it's not like in a it's got to be vaguer than this because it can be like a weird metaphysical chase and not a literal chase. So I pressed through a thorny briar is not that's not good. Oh, this one is gonna need to change a lot. Oops, wrong color again. I plunged through. What was you thinking? Stinking muddy water. But you'll need to ignore the stench and filth of and ruin of your clothing. I do like that one. That like, hey, you're gonna ruin your clothing? Is that okay? It's careful of Steve Incline. It's got to be more weird. The way it's exhausting is fine. I reach clear ground and leap away. Follow me if you can rally, but throw. On a tails, you stand gasping. That's fine. I lead a dizzying course and through a switchback and blind. Going on outside. Follow me if you must, but throw. On a tails, you're lost and won't be able to find your way back. I leap over nothing and make a hard, precarious landing. I leap out over nothing and make a hard, precarious landing. Follow me if you dare, but on tails you barely catch me. You cling to all your strength, and the chase ends now with me at your mercy. Okay, just making note of things that need to be changed. I don't know this ground well. I turn, and at a turning I hesitate. Throw. On a head you rush to overtake me, so gain 2 coins. We'll change at a turning. I slip on treacherous ground and scramble to keep my footing. You slide to overtake me. I steal a look back at you, and you're nearer than I thought. Throw. On a head you put on a burst of speed, so gain 2 coins. That's fine. Maybe back isn't the right word, but I think I risk leaving the trail and sitting quiet while you race past. I'm gonna like eventually, if I try to replace these, try to replace them with like similar ideas, but like just different. but like more for the setting that we've established already. I led myself into a dead end. I have to dash past you to win free. On a heads, you had me off, gain 2 coins. I come to a dangerous climb or leap. I hesitate, stealing myself. And heads, you race up behind me. There are other enemies ahead of me. I must suddenly change course. Throw. On heads, you gain on me. Partially, we're working on some patron game stuff. We might be working on an emotional mecha game. I'm just sort of like in a bit of a slump, so we're just working on what I feel like I can work on. Right now, we're just looking at the things I copy pasted in, which I'm not sure are right from Firebrands, and then we're just changing the color of things that need to be changed to make them more patrony. There are enemies. I think that one's fine. So dance. My hair is... Emotional Mecha is my new band. Yeah. My hair has fallen in front of my ear. Do you touch my face? Well, like, hair and ear and face are maybe... are maybe... question marks here. I don't know if that's... I don't think that's necessarily a thing that patrons have. So we need something, followed by, like, do you touch my energy? I don't know. It doesn't... we're just, like... We're working it. Your mouth is close to my ear. What do you say? Well, mouth and ear are another question marks. As if... Not sure we have those, necessarily. The dance's figures separate us. When they bring us back together, do you blush? That's probably fine. I lose my place in the dance. I'm glad I'm not the only person who color codes for change. Love to see all that red text disappear as it's written. Yeah, I do a lot of color coding. Like, all this blue green is like things that I just added, so I don't forget to tell you about it. Orange is things I need to change. I have some things in purple and red that I don't remember why I color coded them that way. So I don't know. I like color coding things. It makes it. Yeah, it's good. Color coding good. Is my point of me talking right now. I lose my place in the dance. Do you let me stumble or draw me back into place? I do perhaps too much color coding. Yeah, that's fair. I feel that sometimes. The nice thing about when you're doing it online is if you feel like you've done too much color coding, you can always go back and be like, okay, now it's less color coded. That's harder if you're making like physical notes, which I don't do anymore because I was so bad at it when I was in school. Something about me catches your eyes and your look lingers. What is it? It catches your... This can probably just be like attention instead of eyes, but we'll leave it for now. You have an opportunity to draw me close and hold me for a moment. Do you take it? Yes. My face is maybe strong, but we'll get there. Colors are good, actually. Hot take by Atlas. Excellent nerd kobold time. Yeah, colors are good. That seems like... oh boy, I'm in a mood today. But yes, colors are good. We need more colors, please. Hand and elbow, shoulder, my waist, or my hip. Those are all question marks as well. Those are strong words, elbow. When I'm casting a LARP, I wind up using an absurd number of shades and colors. Also fair. When the dance ends, will you stand with your much? At this moment in the dance, you laugh. At what? Those are good. The dance figures bring me to dance with someone else. Whom, when the dance brings me back again, are you pleased or disappointed? This moment the dance allows me to step close and linger very near. Am I welcome? Step close is maybe not the right words, but linger near is good. Yeah. These are the fighty ones, and I'm not totally sure if they fit in the game. If I'm being honest, like, I think that's part. I like dance, and chase is like okay. I like an animated disagreement, but I'm not sure when it would come up because I don't think that the patrons are as like organized as an animated disagreement implies in a way. I think a duel maybe is good, but I'm not sure about a free-for-all, and I'm not sure about a liaison is good, but also I don't know. I need to like all of these things are like thigh. Do we have thighs? I don't know. So we must like weird these up, I guess. Skirmish is interesting, but I feel like the characters in the skirmish would end up being the player characters, so it feels weird to be like submit or withdraw now, or you're able to draw out blank out of position and cut them down, like for like a player character. I guess it could be the player characters like cohorts. I feel like this is like this one needs like special attention. Special attention color. I don't know, what color is a special attention? Blue? I don't think I've used blue. This one needs special attention. Where it might be like, for like, if you want to do a large scale like battle, you can use these rules. But it's not like a thing the patron would do by themselves. Okay, what is a free-for-all? We fight fiercely and threaten to spill over and rather put innocents in danger if we leave the fight unresolved. I feel like patrons don't fight each other this much. I need to write a game with good colors in it. Ultramarine, Verilion, Amethyst, Russet, Azure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, all the good color words. Yes. I had one, but it's gone, so never mind. Do patrons fight this much? I feel like they don't. Like, I feel like a duel makes much more... I don't think a free-for-all is a thing that they would do. I think I'm just going to delete this. Like, I don't think it makes sense for they're not as... I don't think they, like... They're not, like, at war with each other. So it doesn't make sense for them there to be, like, free-for-all battles. You touch me, cutting me along the ribbon across the arm. Well, okay, do you press the attacker? Give me a moment. Okay, so cutting me along the ribbon across the arm is like... We need to... Ribs, arms, I have my sword point at clavicle. That needs to be changed. Do you submit or do you twist away and rejoin? A duel of poisoned words. A game played through mortals. Ooh, those are some good ideas. So let me write those down. I definitely feel like I need to come up with more... I'm just spelling all the things good today. I think coming up with more like games to play, I think, is a good idea, especially if it's going to be like, if this is a faction turn for a Blades game, like it'll probably happen pretty often. So having more options is good. A competition is good. Yeah. I need to think about like what I'm. Ooh, sorry about that. I just bumped my mic. I need to think about like what patrons do. They like. Here, let me finish what I'm doing, and then I'll get back to that. We lock swords, and your mouth is near my ear. Yeah. Okay. So I touch you, cutting you along the ribs and across the arms. I pretend to falter and dip my blade. I pretend to dip my blade. Do I draw you out, or do you recognize the ploy and hold steady? Why doesn't Google recognize ploy as a word? I don't know. I launch a sustained attack with my weight behind it. Do you give ground readily or grudgingly? I overreach slightly, and you have an opportunity to slip in a dirty little cut. Do you take it? Maybe cut might not be the right word, but the idea is strong. We circle. Swords tips touching. What do you say to me? Hey, Matt. It's nice to see you. We're working on game. Slowly but surely. We've copied things in from Firebrands and are now just making note of what things need to be changed. You thrust perilously close to my face. Faces? That might not be the right word. I catch your wrist in my hand. The idea is strong. Is my new podcast where we review new memes on the web. Do you let your swords? I always forget how sexy Duel is. It's very sexy. I thrust and you barely turn it. A fraction slower and you've been cut through. Does it exhilarate or chill you? Cut through isn't quite right. And I don't know if thrust and you barely turn it is quite right, but we'll get there. You get your sword's point. Okay, you get your sword's point well between us. Inside my guard. If you drive it home, you kill me. Do you drive it home, or do you allow me to step back and recover myself? I get my sword's point high up under your chin. Do you submit or flee? Chin? We might not. Chins? Do we have chins? Probably not. You knock my sword rattling out of my hand. Do you allow me to recover it, or must I submit? I pierce your side. But in doing so, I leave myself open to a return stroke. Do you deliver it? Look, I'm not saying I want a game for fighting / fucking HWBM style, but this game needs it. Weird intimacy between patrons is good. Yes. I'm not sure what HWBM stands for. But I feel like that would be a good game. Seize momentum and initiative and drive you backwards. If you stand, throw on heads. You hold me back on tails. I cut you through, killing you. Do you stand, or do you allow yourself to be? I feel like killing is a strong word. Like, I don't know if patrons die in the way that we understand them to. Oh, heaven will be mine. Yes, heaven will be mine. Yes. I'm gonna make a note of that. Flirt fight. Just write that down. I feel like killing is strong, and I feel like patrons don't maybe die in the way that we understand death. So I don't know if killing is the right word there. Well, there's no mobile frames, so that one's obvious. Hands? Alright, I'm nearly at work. Gots to go. Good luck. Bye. Hands are a question mark. I don't know if we have those. So this is just all gonna need to, like, be wrists, cheeks, hair. I don't know if we have those. I don't know why this one is not on its own level. I think these are supposed to be on their own level. I'm gonna need to, like, come up. I'm gonna need to come up with, like, it's gonna be like I touch your blank, can I? And then, like, also, like, a whole bunch of, like, I feel your essence, may I? Or something. I don't know. Like, this one's good. I loosen your armor. Clothing. I loosen my own armor or clothing. We kiss you as above, may I? You may, but only for a moment. They break off the part. You may, but at this moment we're interrupted. Okay, these are fine. We'll need to. Just all of those need to change. This one needs, like, special attention, so I'm gonna leave it for now. So these sexy warlocks, yes. What about them? These games are actually for the patrons, so they're sexy, like, dragons and demons and angels and undead things, I guess. And robots. I have one that's a robot now. Robots. See? What other things do they do that needs to be, like, sexy robot is also good. Yes. It's a robot that you pray to and then is sexy with other robots and demons and stuff. So I feel like that's good. That feels good, to me. Okay, so what do they do with each other, though, is the question. They... Imagine it's a lot of, like things that are, like, plain, because it's boring to be, like, eternity as a thing, as, like, a formless being is probably boring in a lot of ways. Anything that's eternity is probably boring. So it's a lot of like, how do we pass our time? So like games. Um, Games and like I don't know. Maybe we should take a break from Oops All Warlocks for a minute and try to work on a sad mech game. Um, I don't know. I feel like I need more I need to figure out what patrons are more, and like I kind of have like an idea of what they are and what they do, but less of like a strong like yay sad mechs. Yeah. I can show you yeah, we'll take a break from Oops All Warlocks and maybe come back to it today, but for now, it's like a 30-page, it's like a 29-page document now, which is it's getting so big. Um I'll show you what I wrote some stuff, but it's really just fiction, and I can't figure out how to turn it into a game. So I want to show it to you folks, but it's not. I'm probably gonna completely start over. So I wrote a thing from a pilot, and then responses from mechs. The first time we met, I was scared. I've never been this close to a weapon capable of destroying planets before. That's what I thought of you as, a weapon. Yes, I did nothing to comfort you. All pressed steel and sharp edges. I looked dangerous, and later I would prove I was. Yes, and I surprised you with my colors, bright like a bird of paradise. You almost laughed at my name plastered up my thigh. Almost. The first time I piloted you, I was a warmth that you've never felt before, like a fire pressed against your cold instruments. Yes, and it was comforting, that something so warm wanted to touch me. Yes, and it was terrifying. Even with my fans working double time, I couldn't keep myself at resting temperature when you were with me. The first time you were injured, I was confident it was no big deal. You were made for this after all. What good was armor if it couldn't take a dent? Yes, and everything seemed fine at first, when the mechanics told you I was good as new. But you noticed my knees didn't move the same way, so you were more careful after that. Yes, and you were right. My self-repair protocols replaced a leg with an arm, and we made our way back to base. You liked this configuration better, but the scientists laughed at you when you told them. So, I wrote some, nice fiction, but I don't have a game to go with it, so I think I'm just gonna start over and try to do a new thing. And I think I want it to be about mechs that, how do mechs feel about fighting each other when they're so similar, I guess, is what, understanding that, and, maybe is where I'm at right now. But I don't know I don't know the game. I'm having a really hard time with game parts of things right now. I'm in a flavor mood, so I'm good at writing fiction, but I'm having a hard time with here's the game mechanics. So I think that's where we gotta start with sad mechs. Yeah, I think that's where we gotta start with game mechanic. How do I want this game to work? It's about feelings. So it's not about I don't know if I want dice or a strong resolution mechanic. I'm more choosing things and that sort of stuff for for a more narrative game. Do I want it to be one player or two player? I feel like two player. I've written a lot of one player games recently, but I like one player games. I think they're fun. I think maybe it's like a game about like telling a story, like it's like a framework for telling a story, maybe. Because that gives me a lot of use to like write fiction, which is where I'm at right now. Hmm. Hmm. Mechs. I have like a thing in my head where it's like it's just basically like I don't know. Mechs. Um People have written such good games for this already. I was looking at some of them, and I was trying not to look super hard at them because I didn't want to like lose all my ideas and just be filled with other people's ideas. Um, but I want to do something good for this, and it's causing me to feel nervous about it because because like um, sometimes I do bad games and I want to do a good one. Um, um, I had an idea for like a mech game that I ended up kind of abandoning. You never do bad games. I do bad games sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay that I do bad games. Everyone does bad things sometimes, and um, uh, that's not a big deal. Like it's okay to make things that aren't perfect, and um, uh, that's chill. It's like chill that things are that you don't make a good thing every time. Um, uh, but I had an idea about like a game that involved like one person played the mech and the other person played the pilot, and the person had to like the person touched the person who was playing the mech to like use and like moved their body to like do the controls of the mech. But I don't know if I don't totally like the idea of like a touching game. Um, so I wasn't sure about it, but that idea keeps rolling around in my head too. Um, and then like the idea was it was like you do it with someone else and explain how it felt different and like that you don't forget your first pilot even if you have other pilots. But I don't know. I don't love that idea. It was just an idea I had, and it's the most complete idea I have, so I just keep getting stuck on it. I really want to come up with a new idea that is good about mechs fighting each other and how they feel about that. Because the mechs feel. I want the mechs to feel, not just the people. The mechs feel for things, and that's where I'm at. I started just rambling because I don't really have any ideas. But that's okay. Rambling is okay sometimes. I'm streaming, so I'm supposed to be talking anyway. It's better than me sitting in silence, which I do sometimes also. Um, Maybe it's like a game about like hmm mechs like maybe there's like one of the mechs is injured and the other mech helps them. I'm thinking about that one Star Wars comic, the C-3PO one. the one where it's about how he got his red arm. That's really sad. I don't remember what it's called. C-3PO the Phantom Limb. It's really sad, and you should read it if you haven't. It's good. Should we do that? Should we just do this comic? Where it's like, where it's like mechs from two different sides of the fight, like, coming together and working together because they have to. There's a spot on my screen. Got it. That feels good. I like mechs that feel things by themselves. But then are they just robots and not mechs? I don't know. I still don't know what the game part of the game is. Game. What? What is you? What are you? What do you do? This is my process. It's sort of just like a lot of thinking and talking to myself and hoping that a game will materialize out of thin air in front of me. What are how do other two-player games work? I'm having trouble remembering. Tabletop RPGs. This isn't really helping, because I'm not looking at the mechanics, but I'm doing a thing, so it feels like it's helping. But it's not. Yeah, this is boring. I don't want to read a form. So how game work is question. I think I want... What do I want the players to do? Do I want them to have scenes with each other and talk to each other? I think so. I think that's what I want that. Because what else would they do? Like, I could have them do, like, a pen pal thing where they write letters to each other. That could be cool. Like a play-by-post game. But you're mechs and on opposite sides of the war. Like, maybe you were mechs that were, like, it's a civil war, so maybe you were mechs that were, like, friends before, or, like, worked together before, and now you're on opposite sides of the war. And so, but you still, like, send messages to each other? That could be a thing. That would be moving past the idea of, like, being actually physically together, probably. But I kind of like that, maybe more. Um, we could do like drawing pictures. I've wanted to make a game about drawing pictures for a while, but I don't know how I would make it about mechs specifically. And I don't know if this is the right format for it. Um, Game about I kind of like the letters to each other, like sending communication to each other over like when you're on opposite sides of the war. But is that enough gamey stuff? Let's think about like what like letters they would send. Like, it needs probably prompts, right? Like things that they would actually send. Some ideas are like the new generation, a new pilot, a grueling battle, well, maybe not a grueling battle. New parts. I just need like a ton of these, probably. Battle damage. That's similar to new parts, but maybe it's different enough. Lost. Ideology. I saw you today. After the war. Humans. Are we alive? How many? If I want to do a, let's do this as in a. Wait, no, I need a. Hold on. Undo. Insert table. Like if I do it like a 6x6, like you roll a d6 and then you roll a second d6 and then that gives you your prompt. Is that I feel like that's a thing maybe? Rolling for prompts is good stuff. Yeah. I hope so. I mean, I guess you can just... I'm gonna be like, you can pick them if you want, but, like, maybe roll for them as, like, you are a strange, like, machine who... What is on your mind is different than what would be on a human mind, maybe. You can roll and then think, oh no, I want another one, and then you know that you like that. Like flipping a coin to see, and see if you are sad with the choice you get. Yes, that's good. I do that a lot. Okay. There, now I have like a thing to shoot for to fill up. Let's try to write like a fiction bit. Um, something like I have like when I write things, I don't write like linearly in an order. I like think about like parts of things and then like try to like wrap it together is how my brain works when I try to like write things. So like it's hard for me to like do it out loud while I'm doing it. Like I am like having the idea like mechs of the same like type like generation like same batch, I guess, and like keeping a communication link open after a long even when the war started. At one time we were top of the line. We were top of the line. Or maybe they only made 2. Yeah. I like that. They only made 2. Um, they only made 2. Top of the line we were. And we were. Something something. We were the perfect team until we weren't. Two. Perfect max. No, I don't like that. Something about like I want to like get across that like they were like leaders of, but like from a perspective of the mechs, not of the people who drove them and were probably actually the leaders. Um, let's do rule stuff. Game for 2 players. 2 players. Game for 2 players. Over messaging service. Messaging service. You decided to play it over a messaging service. Messaging service. Leaving a message for each relayer to each. That seems too. Ooh, I bumped my mic again. Today's just like a day. That's too wordy. Ugh, I keep bumping my mic. Maybe we're done for the day. I'm having like we got like a good start on this, but I think I need more time to like think about exactly what I want it to be. And I think that needs to just be like quiet contemplation rather than like on a stream thing. And I think I'm at the same place with Oops All Warlocks where I just need to like figure some shit out. So yeah, let's be done for the day. This was just a short. We did a short one today. Yeah, have a good day, everyone. If you haven't hit the follow button, you can hit the follow button. But I think everyone who I saw in here has hit the follow button. I'll be back tomorrow with more The World Ends With You and maybe some game design after that if I'm feeling up for it. So come back for that because we're things that I've heard from sources that we've gotten to the point where things are picking up. So that's where we're at. Is there anyone streaming who we can raid who I know? Not really. Yeah, thanks for a low-key stream. Yeah, mine are always low-key. I'm just, like, low-key in general, so, that's how I prefer to do my streams anyway. I hope you'll come back and see more. Next Thursday we'll be working on games more, we always do. I don't really know anyone who's streaming, because I'm terrible at socializing, so we're just gonna go and not raid anyone. So, bye!